I've been blabbering on for some time now that I need a daily. Because let's be honest, driving an Aston Martin every day is stupid. So for a change, I've decided to be smart, and that's exactly what I've bought. Now, when I was looking for my daily, I had somewhat of a loose criteria. I wanted something that I could take to Cars and Coffee and I wouldn't just get lost in a sea of Mustangs and Porsches. I wanted something that looked good, like this, and I wanted something with a personality that excited me when I drove, and I wanted technology for a change because my Aston, well, didn't. And most importantly, I wanted a warranty because, well, Astons are expensive, and this time I didn't want to have to cover the bill. Alright, so to be honest, this car wasn't even on my radar. When I was looking for a daily, I wanted to find something that was really cool, obviously, and affordable, and I looked at, well, where it all started. My first car was a GTI, offers a hell of a lot of bang for the buck, but, you know, the lease was more than I ended up wanting to pay, because I really wanted a fully loaded one. I felt like it just wasn't worth it otherwise. The next thing I looked at was actually used Abarths, so also a compact car. They're crazy value on the market, as many of you know, because, well, Americans don't seem to value Fiat quite yet, and that was a really cool personality-filled car. But then again, you know, it would have been something that wouldn't have been on a warranty, but it was new and exciting. Also looked at old Porsche Boxsters, first gens, but they have that IMS bearing issue, and I didn't want my engine to blow up. And then I looked at the Alfa Romeo Giulia, which is a brand new exciting car on the market here, but it just was more than I wanted to pay. So I ended up at this, which for all intensive purposes is a compact engineless car that can only be said as a glorified golf cart. Now there's a moment when us car people know we've made the right choice. It comes when you go to a parking lot, you park your car, and when you leave it, there's this moment where you can't help but look back. I know it's nerdy, but it's a great way of knowing that, well, you love your car. And one of the main things with this is some of the accents just add to it. I love these hilariously aggressive blacked out rims. You have some really quality LED headlights and fog lamps that are really nice to run at night in congruency with each other, a blacked out grille. But I mean, when you just step back and look at the overall look at this car, it is so inviting and fun and aggressive and in some weird way, badass. Now I will admit, it can be feminine, these cars, but I think this spec just works. So this red and black makes it look almost evil and, well, I think masculine. And probably you'll think, well, Dylan, how do you fit in this car? You're 6'5", and that's what a lot of people think with a smart car, but as you can see, all of the room happens in the middle. This door is massive and it takes up about 70% of the car. And the really cool thing is when you go in the car, it's actually nice. You have a full leather interior with white stitching and, you know, it's plush and nice to sit on long trips if your miles can even last. But it's got a really cool look. The steering wheel is really cool. You have really cool lamps here, you have really cool air vents, and there's a lot of tech too, honestly. I mean, we have cruise control, there's this little place for your phone so you can have a makeshift GPS, there's Bluetooth seat heaters, there's even a reverse camera in the rear view mirror. But obviously with these electric cars you get all of the displays, and one of them being is there's this little clock up here that basically tells you how much charge you have. Here's how much throttle you're using, and on the bottom is basically the percentage of battery left. Then you have all these LCD displays here, and it just gives you a graph and tells you how naughty you're being in terms of your efficiency. and a glove box that holds, well, nothing more than a glove. You have this really also cool place to store stuff here. And another nice little touch that they like kind of had a little personality in is this magnifying glass on the temperature gauge here. You also have metal pedals, of course. Just a ton of really cool detail. And of course, you can't forget, it's a convertible. Now the great thing is you can do that at any speed, which is really cool, especially if I'm in a rush or I'm leaving the house, but I still want to have the roof off and enjoy my life a bit. Just pop it off straight away. But the cool thing is it gets even more convertible-y than this. You can actually take off these pieces here. And they get stored in the back. Now, although the suspension over rough ground does make you feel a bit like a ball in a 1970s pinball machine played by that fat nerdy guy with the high score, there are a number of benefits to this car. It's peppy in traffic. U-turns won't feel like mistakes anymore. Parking smugness becomes a real problem. Always wear sunscreen. And you won't be hanging around here anymore. This is a car you can take the environment seriously by owning and yourself not so seriously by driving. It's a car that gets a ton of unwarranted attention from, well, mainly females for probably the wrong reasons, but at least they'll hopefully think I'm adorable too. In fact, it's a car that you can drive around and smile in and see other people smiling. This is a car that, well, when people do see you, they think that you've got everything figured out, and when you're driving it, you feel like you do too.